Welcome back. Today we're going to be checking out some America's top dogs. I really love seeing these different animal videos from TheFatElectrician. I don't know, they're just far more interesting. No offense. So I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to this. I hope you're as excited as I am. If you are new here, please do consider subscribing. It'd really help me out. I'd very much appreciate it. Thank you. Also use code MODE for 10% off your order at Gamer Subs and check out our plushie. Are you ready? Let's go.
We have not done an animal video in a while.
Yay!
Today we're talking about America's top dogs, probably the most famous American war dog of all time, Sergeant Stubby from World War I, and America's most decorated war dog of all time, Chips from World War II. Now, this is normally the part of the video where I have like some hook to draw you into the story so you want to stay and watch the entire thing, but I'm not going to do that because let's face facts, I'm talking about adorable guided missiles with teeth, and I know you're going to stay anyway, so let's just get the ad out of the way and move on.
Perfect. Honestly, I was gonna say that as well. Like, if you're talking about adorable little babies, like, you don't need to convince me. I'm already locked in. I'm ready.
This video is brought to you by Supremacy World War III, okay? We've covered this on the channel before, okay? We all know it's a free online PvP military-based strategy game where you can play with up to 99 other people for free on PC and mobile. Basically, it's a giant World War III type scenario where you pick your country and try to conquer the world and you have to battle over resources. But now they've made it even more realistic because in Season 20, they've added the Underworld Protocol, which is just a fancy word for saying they've added the black market. Yes, now you can do shady underground deals that are illegal or against the Geneva Convention to give you an advantage in the game, and then if you get caught, you end up having a PR nightmare and all the people in your country get pissed off at you. This can lead to civil unrest, insurgencies, or a drop in your morale. The only thing that can make this more realistic is if they add a government PSYOP option where you can offer a government contract to Taylor Swift or Kim Kardashian to come up with a new scandal to distract everybody so nobody actually cares. So yeah, go check out Supremacy World War III. You can use the QR code on the screen or you can check out the link in the description below. Let's get back to the video.
Yay! Stubby!
All right, our story begins in 1917 on Yale University campus in New Haven, Connecticut. America has just entered World War I. Why? Because the Germans have just committed the cardinal sin that always gets America involved in military conflict. They touched one of our boats. That's what I want to tell you, but technically, that's not true.
I can't lie!
You see, the Germans had used submarines to sink the RMS Lusitania, which was not an American ship, but it did have 128 Americans on board that were killed. Obviously, this pissed off a lot of people, but technically, they found the loophole. They didn't touch one of America's boats. We can't go to war. Them's the rules, apparently. So Woodrow Wilson just like gives them a stern talking to and is like, hey, don't do that anymore. And then nothing happens. Okay, that was in 1915. Okay, fast forward 2 years later, 1917, World War I has been raging on for almost 3 years at this point, and America still has yet to be involved. Great Britain comes to the American government and they're like, hey, we intercepted this telegram between Arthur Zimmerman, who's representing Germany, and the Mexican government, and this telegram basically says, hey, Germany's gonna start blowing up American ships again, which means America's probably gonna join World War I. When that happens, do you wanna go ahead and go to war with America also? Then you could retake Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico, and it would take some pressure off of us. And the American government's looking at Great Britain like, really? Did Germany really say this? Or is this a British trick to try to draw me into your European conflict over here? I'm not sure I buy it. And then Arthur Zimmerman comes out of left field and tells an American reporter, basically, no, I said it and I meant it.
Oh.
And America can only have one response to that.
Let's fucking go! Yeah.
So America joins World War I, but the problem is America doesn't really have a military right now. I mean, they have a military, but it's small, it's tiny. It's not some big force that they're going to send over into World War I and have a meaningful impact. So they have to raise and build a massive army. To do this, they start training people to join the army wherever they can, including college athletic fields like at Yale University, where they're training the 26th Infantry Division, aka the Yankees. It's basically basic training. They're going to teach how to march, they're going to teach a rank structure, how to salute, all that stuff. And then when they do actually get to the part of, you know, here's a rifle, here's how to use it, they don't even have enough rifles for everybody. So most of these guys are training in firearms while holding like broom handles and sticks, imagining that it's a gun for training.
Oh no.
It's a wooden gun.
Oh!
And one day, well...
Dude, don't fuck with me, okay? It might be made of wood, but wood hurts. hurts if I smack you with it. Oh my God. I like that. I like that a lot. I need one of those. I'll get me one and I'll paint it blue. That'll be my Tiffany blue Glock. Don't you worry, guys. I have a plan.
While they're doing this, a stray dog shows up. He looks like, you know, some type of dog, looks like a bull terrier. He's got the cut tail, so obviously he has some kind of owner somewhere, but you know, it's a dog. They're petting the dog. They're hanging out with the dog. They don't really chain him up or put him on a leash or try to keep him because he's missing his tail, which implies that he has an owner or somebody that cares about him, but the dog just kind of never left. He just kept hanging out with the guys of the 26th Infantry Division. And then eventually, Corporal James Conroy becomes
Oh, you get the baby! Oh, look at him! They're holding him up! Okay, now smile for the camera. Oh, look it! Look at the belly! Yo, they're feeding him good. That's adorable! That was so
kept hanging out with
cute.
the guys of the 26th Infantry Division. And then eventually, Corporal James Conroy becomes the dog's caretaker, names him Stubby, and he becomes the unofficial mascot of the 26th Infantry Division. So now Stubby's just hanging out with the boys while they're training all day on Yale University campus, and eventually he starts trying to do what all the other guys are doing, right? He's one of the boys, he's one of the homies, so he starts marching in formation with these guys, and eventually he figures out how to salute, and not just like on command like it's a trick for a dog. Stubby can salute on command, but he can also figure out like, oh, if an officer walks in the room and everybody else stands up to salute, Stubby sits down on his butt and then raises his hand to salute also.
Are you kidding? That's
Stands up to salute.
incredible.
Stubby sits down.
What? Oh my God. I was trying to picture it too. I was like, how in the fuck is a dog gonna salute? Like I seen like the paw doing the actual like thing. Like a cartoon. This is so much cuter. This is so much cuter than what I was picturing. That's adorable.
On his butt and then raises his hand to
No.
salute also. And he salutes anybody that salutes him. And this goes on for months. Just Stubby's one of the homies. Everybody loves him. And then by September of 1917, it's time to ship off over to France, at which point, obviously, they're not going to be able to take this dog with them. So Corporal Conroy has, you know, the Disney kids movie moment of like, go on, boy, get out of here. I can't take you with me. They then all hop on the train, and then they're going to take that train out to a naval yard, get onto a ship, and then head off to France. And Stubby didn't listen. He snuck onto the train as well. So now Stubby's at this naval shipyard with him, and the guys of the 26th Infantry are like, I mean, we can't just abandon him here in unfamiliar territory. I guess he's coming with us. Now the problem is the Navy's not about to let a dog onto their ship. At least the chain of command of the Navy's not about to let a dog on their ship. But the man in charge of Stubby is Corporal Conroy, and Corporal is an E4. He's part of the E4 Mafia. So he goes over to the naval E4, hits them up, and is like, hey, we got to smuggle a dog onto your ship. And the Navy guys are like, fuck yeah. They hide Stubby inside of a coal bin, smuggle him on board, and keep him hidden the entire voyage to France. They make port. Now they got to smuggle him off. So Conroy just grabs a big overcoat, stuffs Stubby inside the overcoat and is holding him, and just walks right off the ship while a bunch of the other guys are like running interference, trying to crowd around him not to make it obvious.
Who's the ugly old brother?
Somehow it works. They manage to keep him hidden for a couple of days, but then one day the chain of command walks inside of the tent and there's a fucking dog in the tent, and he's like, why is there a dog here?
Just let Stubby handle it, okay? Let Stubby just walk up and salute. Like, I know that there's rules. I know that things have to be done a certain way. But if you see a dog salute you, I feel like you kind of, like, you gotta have a heart, man. Like, you have to bend a couple, break a couple rules. Like, there's no way.
You guys can't have pets. And Stubby reads the room, sits down, and salutes this officer. And the officer's like, I'm going back home in a couple days. You guys are getting a new chain of command. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see this. And he...
Yes! Yes! Dude! Oh my God. You have to. You have to. What else is the outcome of that situation? Honestly, as a civilian, if I see that shit, like, I don't have words. So I could not imagine being, like, actually military and seeing that happen. That is so amazing. That is so good.
Leaves. A couple more days go by and the new chain of command shows up, and the word on the street is he's a complete hard ass. His name is Colonel John Parker.
He's gonna love Stubby. It's the dudes. It's okay. Have you ever had like a family member, but particularly your dad? Did you ever like get a dog or an animal in general, and your dad's like, I don't want this animal. You know, we're not doing this. Da 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 da. And then your dad is like the one that loves the animal the most. Like, they're so against it. This is not happening. We're not getting an animal. And then like fast forward a month, and then it's like the dog is like chilling with your dad, and like he's feeding it treats and stuff. Like it's because the animal like warms their heart, dude. Like, animals are just such precious beings that like you can be a hard ass. Go ahead. Okay? You're about to really love this dog, bro, and we all know it.
AKA Gatling Gun Parker, a machine gun expert and combat veteran from the Spanish-American War. And you gotta remember, all the guys in the 26th Infantry Division are all like kids that just got out of high school that have been training on how to go to war with literal sticks and broom handles. This guy is terrifying to them. They're really worried about what's gonna happen. He might take Stubby out of the tent and shoot him on the spot. They have no idea. Okay, full transparency, we don't know what happened between Stubby and Gatling Gun Parker, but what we do know is that apparently Gatling Gun Parker absolutely loved this dog, and all the guys that wrote about Stubby after the war said that Stubby was the only soldier that could talk back to him and get away with it. Gatling Gun Parker is officially co-signed, Stubby is now staying, and all the boys are going to go into more training in France, and this time they're finally actually going to get guns for the first time, which also means Stubby is also going to be subjected to gunfire for the first time, and the first time he hears guns go off, doesn't even flinch. Which on one hand is really impressive for a dog, but on the other hand, that's Stubby's entire MO. I'm sure the first time a gun went off, he just kind of looked around like, okay, the boys aren't panicking. I'm not going to panic either. This is normal. Moving on. After they finish training, they get shipped off to the front lines, and Corporal Conroy gets selected for recon duty, meaning he's going to be the one sneaking around the front lines, trying to get eyes on the enemy, know how many troops are where, know where the enemy trenches are, absolutely everything, and Stubby's going with him. Okay, now a couple things happen during this period. Stubby comes to understand, okay, Germans are the bad guys, the ones that smell like sauerkraut and speak German. Got it. He knows they're the bad guys, but because he's on recon duty with Conroy, he also goes all over the place. He's not just standing in one trench around the same 5 guys all the time. He's getting shown off to all of the Allied forces. So now pretty much everybody knows about Stubby. They know who he is. Everybody loves him, but he also gets exposed to French and British people, and Stubby fully understands who's French, who's British, who's American, who's German, and he knows that the Germans, as far as he's concerned, are the bad guys. This goes on for a little while, and then on March 17th, 1918, Stubby has his first run-in with mustard gas. Now, according to the popular story that you see reiterated on like Wikipedia and a bunch of articles, allegedly Stubby was wounded by mustard gas and ended up in the hospital. As far as I could tell, that's not actually true, and it's not true because prior to this, Corporal Conroy and a French lieutenant had a custom gas mask made for Stubby, so while he was exposed to mustard gas, he had a gas mask, and as far as I could tell, he was never actually injured by it. So that's good, and even better than that, Stubby is a really smart dog that recognizes patterns and acts accordingly. So after being exposed to mustard gas for the first time, presumably from his perspective, there's a really high-pitched whistle from the artillery coming in, and then they land and everybody freaks out and puts these masks on. Well, not all the humans can hear this high-pitched whistle as soon as a dog can, but Stubby can. So
he becomes like the warning? Oh, that is so cool.
From that point on, every time he hears the high-pitched whistle of incoming artillery, he starts barking like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We're supposed to be putting our masks on right now. And he ends up being the early warning system for his entire section of trench, so everybody knows to put their gas masks on, which I cannot stress to you enough is a humongous deal, because when you're dealing with toxic gas, breathing in one breath is... you're done. Seconds actually matter. So even Stubby giving them a couple second lead time to be able to pull their mask out and get it on their face is huge and probably saved a ton of lives. But Stubby takes it a step further, right? You have all the dudes on the line up in the trench manning their positions. They all hear the alarm go off. They don their gas masks. But a lot of guys are still back in these underground bunkers where they're sleeping or eating or doing whatever when it's not their turn to man the trench. And because the poisonous gas is heavier than air, the gas can settle down into these bunkers. And if if you're sleeping down there and you don't hear the alarm go off, you're probably gonna wake up dead. So every time there was a German gas attack, Stubby would bark, they would set off the alarm, everybody would don gas masks, and then once that was happening, Stubby would go and run into all the bunkers and make sure that all the soldiers inside the bunkers were also awake so they could don their gas masks. And there was multiple accounts of soldiers that had been woken up and saved by Stubby. Because of this, Stubby was never tied up or put on a leash or tried to be restricted in his movements. He was pretty much allowed to roam around the front lines and do whatever he wanted whenever he wasn't with Conroy. He was hanging out with random soldiers, he was keeping people company, maybe he was saving lives, but he just kind of got to come and go as he pleased, and at some point or another, he got a habit of going AWOL. Stubby would just kind of up and disappear, nobody knew where he was. He was absent without leave. He was off doing his own thing on his own little personal side quest. But nobody really cared because he always came back, and as Conroy later put it, he always showed back up clean and sober, so...
No, okay, it would not be good. It would not be good, right? But one time can he come home drunk? Oh my God. Joe, no, listen, he's gonna come home, he's gonna bring a girl home. He's gonna be a little wobbly, a little woozy. Girl's gonna be, oh my God, he had a litter. He made a litter and they all got recruited. What are you talking about? Oh my days. Oh my God.
Whatever. But then one day, Stubby didn't come back, and it was way longer than he'd ever been AWOL before.
No.
And eventually, after days, everybody just kind of presumed that Stubby'd been killed. And a few more days go by, and still no Stubby. And the entire regiment in that section of the trench is just, Stubby was everybody's dog, and everybody's acting like their dog died.
Yeah. No.
And then a couple days after that, there's this French unit coming through their AO, and one of the 26th Infantry guys, not Conroy, just one of the random guys, but obviously well aware who Stubby is, sees that a French lieutenant has a dog that looks an awful lot like Stubby on a leash. So he grabs some of the boys and they go over to investigate, and sure enough, it's Stubby, at which point he politely informs the French guy, "That's my fucking dog." And the French guy says, "No, it isn't. It's my dog."
We gotta kill this guy.
Now, to be completely transparent, I've got a pretty good idea what happens next, but I can't state it as a fact. But according to the historical record, the French were then threatened with disciplinary actions if they didn't turn over the dog.
You're gonna have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I will fuck you up!
So yeah, the French went ahead and surrendered Stubby over to the 26th Infantry Division, which is just, you know, foreshadowing for the next World War. So Stubby's back, he's going on recon missions with Conroy, he's hanging out with the boys on the front line, he's being the early warning system, and then they teach him how to kill rats. Again, seems like something minor, but it's actually a huge boost to morale because the rats were just making everything absolutely miserable living inside of these trenches. You're in close quarters with all the guys, everybody's getting sick, everybody's cold, everybody's hungry, and then you've got these big-ass rats that are the size of house cats running around, and these rats are carrying lice and fleas, and the lice and fleas are just making everything about life miserable. Here comes Stubby to kill all the rats.
Whoa!
From here, the 26th Infantry Division gets orders that they're going to be going and moving to a different section of the trench where they're going to be relieving the 1st Infantry Division, and they're going to do it under the cover of night, not wanting the enemy to know about their troop movements, what units are where, so on and so on. So that's what they do. They do everything at night. They try to be sneaky. First morning, they're there. The Germans have a big-ass sign hung up that says, "Welcome 26th Infantry Division." Obviously, the Germans know that they're there. Probably not a good thing, because the Germans probably assume that that means that these are fresh new recruits that haven't seen combat and aren't trained, and it's going to be an easy fight. So they're going to launch a massive offensive, which is exactly what they do, and it becomes to be known as the Battle of Sedge Prey. During this battle, Stubby is doing exactly what Stubby does. He's alerting for incoming artillery. If he's not doing that, he's hanging out with wounded men, trying to improve morale. The accounts vary, but at some point during this battle, Stubby takes shrapnel in his chest and his leg, either from a German grenade or from artillery. He is then rushed to the rear to the aid station by his guys, and they try to give him to the doctor, and presumably the doctor's like, major battle going on, kind of busy, don't have time to deal with the fucking dog right now.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Realizing that, yeah, he sees a dog, but these guys don't see a dog, they see one of them. An altercation ensues, and ultimately, the doctor winds up taking care of the dog. Stubby winds up getting the shrapnel removed, his wounds cleaned, and spends a month recuperating, and then returns back to the front lines with his men. By July 18th, the Allied forces go on the offensive. It is no longer stand in the trench, wait for the enemy to bomb rush you, and shoot him down with a machine gun. It is now, we're getting out of the trench trench and we're advancing towards the enemy. The Germans are retreating, so they're trying to get back there, cut them off, capture as many Germans as possible, and the fighting is no longer in trenches. A lot of it's out in the open. And while the 26th Infantry guys are doing that, Stubby is right there by him, and he figures out a new way that he can contribute. With the battle now out in the open, it's way more chaotic. If somebody gets wounded out on the battlefield and can't move, it's hard to get them a medic, to get them off the battlefield, to get medical care. So Stubby goes out and he finds wounded soldiers, knows where they are, and then takes off running, grabs the medics, and guides the medics back to wounded soldiers to get these guys off the battlefield. Seeing and presumably understanding that the Germans were hurting all of his homies, Sergeant Stubby grew to really not like the Germans, and when the battle wasn't raging and he wasn't saving his guys, he was being on guard duty helping escort German prisoners from point A to point B. Eventually, for the first time in his life, they actually had to put him on a leash while he did it because apparently, remember, Stubby knows how to march. He learned how to march with the boys back at Yale University. If the Germans weren't marching well enough, he would fucking bite them. Which, what an unfortunate—
No, let him! Let him! No! Don't hold him back! No!
situation to be in, right? Like, you just got your ass kicked on the battlefield, you might be wounded, you just got captured by the enemy, now they're marching you along, and there's this dog being a drill sergeant that bites you if you don't march in cadence with all your other wounded buddies. And the normal human reaction to a dog biting you is to like hit it and get it away from you, but also it's the dog that belongs to all the dudes with guns that seemingly care a lot about this dog. So if I hit this dog, I'm probably gonna get shot. I guess you just gotta sit there and let the dog eat you. Anyways, he does that through the entire Allied offensive, and then eventually the 26th Infantry Division liberates a town called Chateau Thierry. While at Chateau Thierry, I would assume it's, you know, like you see in the movies, everybody's celebrating, they're drinking, they're partying, they're having a good time. The Americans showed up and liberated us. The Germans are gone. We're free again. Hooray. And then the Germans decided to launch a gas attack. But Stubby was there to alert everybody and saved a ton of people in this town. And because of that, the women of Chateau Thierry made Stubby a jacket to thank him. And that is the jacket that you see him wearing in almost every picture. From here, Stubby and the 26th Infantry Division partake in the St. Michael Offensive, and then they are in the Battle of the Meuse-Argonne, the last big battle of World War I. On September 26, 1918, the very first day of the Battle of the Meuse-Argonne, Stubby is going about his normal duties, doing Stubby stuff, when he notices a German.
Oh.
Now, to be fair, it's debated as to whether or not this German was in a German uniform or if he was in an Allied uniform, but everybody pretty much agrees this guy was a spy and Stubby found him. Personally, I like to think he was in an Allied uniform being extra sneaky, and Stubby just rolls up like, you don't smell like one of my boys.
Nah, it smells like bitch in here. What are you talking about?
All right. You smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
At which point, the German just knows he's cooked. Stubby then proceeds to bark, alerting the rest of the guys to this intruder, biting him in the ass and wrestling him to the ground and holding him until his guys can come capture him.
Yeah.
Please don't bite me, dog. And I turn around and jump over the fence. The dog grab my ass.
For this, he receives an honorary battlefield promotion to sergeant, and his sergeant stripes are stitched onto his jacket that was given to him by the women of Chateau Thierry. But it gets better, because on the spy, they found an Iron Cross, which is like the highest medal that you can get in the German military at this point in time. And under the rules of fucking finders keepers, that is now Sergeant Stubby's Iron Cross, which he then had mounted on his jacket in the very appropriate location of right below his ass. From here, Stubby continues to serve with his guys all through the Battle of the Meuse-Argonne and all through the rest of World War I until Armistice Day, when it comes to an end. When it was all said and done, Sergeant Stubby had been in combat for 18 months straight. He helped in 17 battles and 4 major offensives. And after the war, Sergeant Stubby became a celebrity. He was America's goodest boy. He led parades.
That's amazing.
He met 3 presidents. He met General Pershing, the American general that led all of World War I for the American side. And General Pershing gave him a gold medal, and the rumor is Pershing also made his promotion to sergeant official, but there's no documents of that actually surviving. But let's face it, if General Blackjack Pershing looks at you and says, "You're a sergeant," you're a sergeant. I don't care if you signed the paperwork or not. Sergeant Stubby and Conroy basically traveled the country on this enormous PR tour where he is given a ton of different medals and awards from different humane societies and military organizations, all of which get donned on his jacket. And after the PR tour, Sergeant Conroy takes him back home, where he gets to live happily ever after until finally passing away at the age of 10 in 1926. I don't know a lot, but I do know it's a good thing for the enemy that Sergeant Stubby got a happy ending.
Good dog.
Yay! Hold on. I want some clappies. Amazing work, Stubby. That was so damn good. He's so cute, man. That was amazing.
And now for my personal favorite, Chips. So by World War II, as far as dogs goes, the American government had learned its lesson. Dogs are pretty fucking handy to have around and to give to the grunts, and they can do all kinds of stuff. So in World War II, they had a war dog program. Basically, the American government came out and just asked the civilian population for help. They're like, hey, we need dogs to go to war with. If you've got a good working dog that's like 1 or 2 years old, bring him in, get him checked out, and if he qualifies, you can donate him to the war effort. And one of the dogs that was volunteered for service was Chips, a Collie Husky German Shepherd mix. And he came from Pleasantville, New York, from the Wren family. The Wren family had 2 young daughters and a brand new baby boy, John, and the 2-year-old Chips. And Chips was super protective of the kids. He was a great dog. He would also chase off the mailman every time he tried to deliver the mail. He was wound a little bit tight, but he was a puppy. He was everything the United States military was looking for, so the Wren family reluctantly offered him up for service. So in 1942, Chips gets sent off to Virginia to go through century dog training. Basically, he's going to be a guard dog for military bases overseas. He graduates from training, and then he gets assigned to a handler, a guy by the name of John Rowell. As far as being, you know, a century dog, a guard dog on a military base, not really what goes down, because Chips and Private Rowell wind up getting attached to the 3rd Infantry Division as they're getting ready to make their amphibious landing into North Africa for Operation Torch. Yeah, Chips' first day on the job is to make an amphibious landing into combat in North Africa, literally the spearhead of the entire Allied forces. They make the amphibious landing, goes as good as it can. Obviously, the bullets and the explosions scare the shit out of him at first, but he gets used to it. They advance 300 yards inland, and then Private Rowell, Chips, and the rest of their platoon gets pinned down by an enemy machine gun nest with 2 machine guns in it. It is at this moment that Chips decides that he's gonna do some gangster shit. He rips the leash out of Private Rowell's hands and runs straight towards the machine gun nest.
Ready, guys? Let's do this.
Leroy Jenkins.
Oh my god, he just ran in.
Somehow he manages to not get shot, jumps into the enemy machine gun nest, and then within a couple of seconds, all of the machine gunning towards the men stops. So the men start advancing, and as they're advancing, they hear gunshots and screaming going off inside the machine gun nest, and then everything gets quiet, and everybody's like, shit, Chips just got killed.
Call an ambulance! Call
But not for me.
But not for me!
A couple seconds after that, the screaming resumes as they see Chips dragging an Italian machine gunner out by his neck. Private Rowell calls Chips off before he kills this guy, and then 3 more soldiers walk out with their hands up and surrender. From here, they take the enemy soldiers prisoner, then they go inside the machine gun nest to see what went down, and both machine guns are ripped off of their mounts. And Chips has burns on his face and mouth. Chips had went in there, fought 4 grown men, and ripped both the machine guns off their mounts so that the men could advance and get him.
On his first day, by the way, first day, shows up, gets scared by all like the new loud noises and everything else, and then decides, you know what, actually, I am the dog of all time. Watch this. And then just does gangster shit, as he said. Like, that's, oh my god.
Despite being wounded, he stays in the fight all day long, and later that evening on the very same day, 10 Italian soldiers are planning on launching an ambush on his platoon, but Chips manages to spot him, alert his men, and they get captured and taken as prisoners as well. And that's just the first day. Chips and the rest of the 3rd Infantry Division fight all the way through Morocco and Algeria, and once they capture those 2 countries, there's a little bit of a lull in the battle, at which point the platoon leader for Chips's platoon nominates him for the Distinguished Service Cross, the 2nd highest medal in the United States military, second only to the Medal of Honor. This gets kicked up the chain of command to Major General Leon Truscott, and he's like, all right, I don't know if I can give a dog the Distinguished Service Cross. We're gonna give him a Silver Star, and he approves it, and Chips is awarded a Silver Star. Not an honorary Silver Star, not a special award for dogs. Chips the dog is given a legitimate Silver Star. At which point, apparently General Eisenhower, you know, like the Allied Supreme Commander, the most important general for the Americans in World War II, wants to meet the only dog in American history that has a Silver Star, so he goes to meet Chips. And apparently nobody told Eisenhower that you're not supposed to try to pet century dogs because they're instructed to bite anybody that isn't their handler that tries to touch them. He nips Eisenhower on the hand. Luckily, Eisenhower's cool about it, and actually to this day at the Eisenhower Presidential Library, you can go there and schedule a time for your kids to take a 50-minute class on military working dogs that highlights Chips, and there's even a coloring page and a section in the course that highlights that time that he bit the future president on the hand.
I mean, at least he had the brains, you know, and sense to not get mad at like the dog literally following training. You know what I mean? Like, don't teach the dog something and then get mad when it does something. So I'm glad that he was cool about it. Smart man, very smart man.
You drawing? It's just a goodbye card, that's all. It's sweet.
After that, the United States military is getting ready for the Casablanca conference, where FDR, Winston Churchill, Eisenhower, all the bigwigs are going to meet in Casablanca. They're going to have a meeting, figure out how the rest of the war is going to go. Obviously, security is going to need to be pretty tight. They're going to want their best guys and their best dogs on the job. And there's only one dog in American history that's got a fucking silver star. So Chips goes to Casablanca to guard the president and all the other bigwigs. That goes pretty good, and then after that, they get shipped off to Sicily, and while they're on the ship, they are on the ship with 4 other war dogs. 2 of them are boys, and 1 of them's a girl named Minna. Okay, you gotta remember, Chips, he's a dog, but more importantly, he's a grunt. This dog is an infantryman that has been reincarnated into a canine, I'm absolutely positive. He's looking around like, I mean, we're not fighting, and I can't open a beer. There's only one thing left to do.
You'll find on the
So yeah, Minna gets pregnant, has 9 puppies, 5 of which become unit mascots, and the other 4 follow in their parents' paw prints and become military working dogs. And Chips officially becomes the reason that, at least for a period of time, all female working dogs have to be spayed before getting deployed.
Think of the potential in those puppies. What do you mean?
So Minnow gets to take the rest of the war off. She's busy having kids. Chips, on the other hand, goes into combat in Sicily, where he fights in the Battle of Salerno. After that, he is officially awarded his Silver Star in the field, and all of the guys in his platoon are like, holy shit, that actually worked. We need to write him up for a Purple Heart too, because he got wounded getting burns on his mouth from those machine guns, so they also write him up for a Purple Heart. So the paperwork gets sent in, and some paper pusher at the award committee gets so butthurt at the notion that they wanted to give a dog a Purple Heart, he decides he's not just gonna deny it, he's also gonna write a letter.
Oh my god, she's gonna have a bitch fit. Oh, better yet, I'm gonna write a letter.
So he writes a letter to FDR and the Department of War and basically throws a bitch fit that they gave this dog a Silver Star and now they want to give him a Purple Heart, and then leads a campaign to have Chips' Silver Star revoked.
Oh, you're gone. Oh, you're dumb. You're dumb, you're stupid. You're gonna put this in like physical evidence that you're dumb and that you're stupid.
Fortunately, he is successful. Chips is denied a Purple Heart, has his Silver Star revoked, and I think we'd all agree that this analyst from the award committee needs to find something better to do with his fucking time. I mean, seriously, if you want to be a Karen about everything, go be a president at your local HOA. Why would you take time out of your day during World War II, when you're in charge of giving out Purple Hearts, to try to revoke a medal from a dog who bum rushed an enemy machine gun position? Oh, well, he's a dog, and awards should only be given to people. Fuck you. You know who thinks he deserved that award? All the men that didn't die from machine gun fire that recommended he get the award. Okay, who gives a shit if Chips is a dog? He did some gangster shit. He performed an act of valor. He earned the award. Give him the award. Just because he's got 4 legs and fur doesn't change the fact he did the thing to get the reward. Give it to him. Okay?
Honestly, I feel like it's people in positions like that who they're never gonna be in the position to earn it themselves, and then they kind of like get off on the fact that they can approve or deny that other people get it. And it's really sad that like you're that butthurt, like he's talking about, you're that butthurt, you're that jealous because you're never gonna be in a position to have one yourself, and you think like that it's beneath either you or like beneath the award or whatever to give it to an animal, but that animal saved lives. That animal did the work. You know what I mean? Like, and you trained it. You requested animals from Americans. You trained
house pets to become war machines. War Machine does War Machine thing. Nah, not good enough. Can't have that. Really? Really? Mm-mm.
I understand it's probably very emasculating to have to go home after a long day of pushing papers around in the basement of the Pentagon and explain to your wife and her boyfriend that there's a dog over in Sicily that's got bigger balls than you, that's also accomplished more in 2 years of his life than you have in your entire life as a grown-ass man. But that's just the way it works out sometimes. Quit being a bitch. Also...
No, 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 come back. Keep going. Keep going. No, literally. Oh my God. So he just said what I was trying to say so much better. Oh my God. That was so good.
I'm calm. Okay, so Chips winds up fighting in frontline combat up until December of 1943. By January of 1944, he is taken away from frontline combat, given a new handler, and sent on prison guard duty. While there, he gets the nickname the One-Man Guard Company because apparently he could keep 60 dudes in check all by himself. And Chips performs that duty till the end of World War II, and before getting shipped back home to America, his platoon gives him an honorary theater ribbon with 8 battle stars for the 8 campaigns that he served in. Chips is then shipped back to Virginia, where he is given more training to help him readapt to civilian life, and then he is put on a train and shipped back to New York to the Wren family. The Wren family then meets the military escort at the train depot to pick up Chips, and little Johnny, who was only a baby when Chips was sent off to war, is now 4 years old. And can you imagine the excitement of a 4-year-old boy?
No. Oh, please don't. Oh, I'm a little worried.
Boy who has been told his entire life, you have a dog, buddy, but he's off at war fighting the bad guys right now, and he finally gets to come home, and you meet him.
Good reunion?
I think I actually found a picture of it right here. So little Johnny, at least at this moment, is probably the happiest boy on the planet. In addition to getting Chips, they got all of his discharge paperwork, and with that paperwork was a letter from Chips's last handler while he was in the military, and it reads as follows, and I quote, "We had quite a few nights on the same cot or bed or whatever we could get. He's the best friend I've ever had. No one in the world has a better dog than you." Also worth noting, his discharge paperwork, like his official discharge paperwork, refers to him as Mr. Chips, which I think is hilarious. The clerk at the Pentagon took one look at this dog's service record and put some respect on his name, and I appreciate it. Also, I know it's probably not true, but I like to think they gave him a full rundown of everything Chips did while he was in the military. And Mr. Wren's sitting there like, okay, buddy, let's see what you've been up to. Okay, day 1, dragged a grown man out of a machine gun position by his neck, forcing him to surrender. Okay, forced 3 more guys to surrender, suffered burns to his mouth after dismounting a machine gun by himself. Holy crap, this dog is awesome. Then proceeded to capture 10 more guys on the same day. Holy shit, honey, our dog is a superhero. For this, he was awarded the Silver Star, then had his Silver Star revoked, then he was the guard dog for FDR, then he bit General Eisenhower on the hand. What the fuck is happening right now? What did you do? Then on a boat to Sicily, he fathered 9 children and is formally the reason that all female working dogs have to get neutered. I don't... Sweetheart, Chips might be the man of the house now. I'm gonna go mow the lawn. Wren family goes back home. Chips is home now. The family's reunited, and Chips is the best dog ever. And then one day, little Johnny, wanting to show off his war hero dog, decides to dress up in a little army uniform with a little belt and a little toy revolver and a hat, and he's strutting around town, and one of the neighbor kids comes running out of his house with a cap gun, pointing it at little Johnny right in front of Chips, pulling the trigger, and Chips sprints at this kid and rips the gun out of his hand. Doesn't hurt the kid at all, just takes the gun away, scares the living shit out of this kid. He takes off crying, runs home to mom. The mom gets all pissed off, saying that Chips is a dangerous animal, but there was never any other sign of aggression that Chips showed towards anybody, and all he did was take the gun away. The kid wasn't hurt. On another occasion, later that...
Honestly, though, that's why, like, I keep hesitating and, like, panicking a little bit, because, like, when you're, like, trained to frickin', like... kick ass. Okay, let's just say kick ass. When you're trained to kick ass and you have to learn that you can't do that no more, that's what I was getting worried about, right? So like the reunion, I was scared that maybe with like the excitement that maybe Chips would have accidentally injured, you know, the 4-year-old or something like that, but he's adjusted incredibly well, right? To have to disengage and go back to just being like a chill, you know, like dog, like a quote unquote normal dog. Like, if all the dog did was take away something that he has been taught is like a danger, all he did was take it away from the kid. Like, it's so hard to be like, yeah, no, that's like kind of scary, but like, I don't know. I'm very biased because nothing happened. I see the danger, but honestly, teach your kid better. I don't know. And like regular dogs that have never had any sort of training can be a danger, you know? If they're not trained properly to just be like, don't bite people. A normal dog who has never seen combat can bite your kid, okay? Why are we getting mad at the trained, like, professional animal who is now, like, just trying to live a normal life as a pet? Like, I don't know. It's a conflict for sure. But no, I'm very impressed. I'm very happy because I was on, like, a little bit of a nervous edge thinking that maybe something would happen. Because, like, that's a lot to go through. That's a lot to go through. That's a mental shift. Like, that's hard for people to get through, going from, you know, military and everything else to coming back and like readjusting. So for an animal, like, he's doing amazing.
This summer, the family goes out to the beach. Obviously, they're bringing Chips with. He's part of the family. And little Johnny gets swept up in the current and pulled out farther than he's comfortable. Nobody noticed except for Chips. And Chips went out there, dragged him back onto the beach by his swim trunks, saving Johnny. And Chips and the Wren family got to live happily ever after.
Yay!
Unfortunately, ever after didn't last long enough. 7 months after being reunited with the Wren family, Chips would pass away from kidney failure and be privately buried by the family. And that is the story of America's top dogs. Chips, the most decorated war dog in American history, and Sergeant Stubby, probably the most famous war dog in American history. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon, check out echelon.tv. Links for all that over at TheFatElectrician.com. Quack bang, out.
Damn. Okay. All right. This was so good. I love these stories with the animals. They just appeal to me a lot better than the humans, okay? I don't know, man. But Stubby, Chips, there were so many times that I wanted to cry. Like, it doesn't feel real, and I think that it is absolutely incredible to learn about them, relearn about them, anything. So if you're interested in anything else, he mentioned some really great books that you can check out. And of course, please go check out The Fat Electrician. His channel is going to be linked down below. If you like my video, make sure you like and subscribe so I can see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.